Oh, stand tall. Buford Pusser. You know, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Nevada Legal Services Now. My name is
Hello.
Ray Gertkin. I am with Nevada Legal Services, and we are presenting today on SNAP benefits. And of course, SNAP used to be food stamps, so we will get into what SNAP is and your eligibility for SNAP. I am again joined by David Olshan. Hi, David.
Hello. And we need Zubin Mehta to conduct us because I'm
why don't we go ahead and get started?
Yeah, that's me. Okay. So yeah, Ray's right. Food stamps, it was universally understood. And for some reason, the USDA and the federal government decided to change it to SNAP. It's kind of like Clark County Legal Services changing it to Laxon. It doesn't make much sense. You develop goodwill around a name and they changed it. So we're sorry that it's SNAP, but that's the way it is. I got to improve my attitude though. All right. So, first of all, let me just take a step back. Many people who aren't aware of what we call welfare programs don't know how eligibility works. And basically, to be eligible for SNAP, you need to be low income. Just because you're having trouble with your food budget, and a lot of people nowadays are having trouble because of inflation, food prices are up, gas prices are up. You still need to be low income to be eligible. So we're going to go through some of the requirements. First of all, there's a lot of sort of conservative people who think illegal aliens get food stamps. That's not true. You need to have documented immigrant status. You need to be in the country legally. However, if you have a household that has somebody who's not documented, you're still eligible. You just have a reduction in benefits. Of course, if you're a citizen, yes, you're eligible. You need also to be a resident of the state of Nevada to get food stamps under the Nevada SNAP program. And sorry if I call them food stamps, but it's been a long morning. You also have to be low income, and generally speaking, we'll get into it in specifics, but it's 130% of the poverty rate, and we'll cover what the poverty rate is. You also have to have low resources, not a lot of money in the bank. So for a single person, it's $2,250 or less. For a couple, or if somebody in your household is 60 or older, it's $3,250 or less. And under this program, it's all assets. So if you have a car and it's paid off and it's worth more than $3,250 or $2,250, you're probably not going to be eligible for SNAP benefits. So just be advised. When you do apply, you can do it online at Access. The link is there on the slide. You should also get proof of your expenses, because if you're not categorically eligible for SNAP benefits, you're going to have to provide expenses and document those expenses to reduce your income to be eligible for SNAP benefits. And again, there is an online application, and hopefully we'll have it on our YouTube channel, because you can't just press that on this video and access the SNAP application. All right, so what SNAP is basically you get a debit card. It's like a regular debit card from a bank. Each month, SNAP benefits are sort of uploaded to your card, and you're able to go to the store, the grocery store, the convenience store, and purchase food and food-related items. That's not, I mean, like, yeah, no, it's food. I was thinking like milk. Milk isn't food. Of course it is food. Sorry. With a debit card, you can go to the store. The debit card reduces some of the stigma, some of the embarrassment some people have at resorting to welfare. In the old days, yes, people would have to take out those food stamps, and they'd be wildly sort of decorated. You saw that at the beginning, and everyone in the store, or at least everyone in line, would know that you're a food stamp recipient, and there would be some opprobrium that carried with using the food stamps. Now with the electronic benefit card, it's pretty much reduced. and you do get this card. And as long as you're eligible for SNAP benefits, you will get those benefits each month. Again, the elements for being eligible, you have to be low income and few assets. You have to be a citizen or a qualified immigrant with documentation. You need a social security card. And for some people, you need to be working or looking for work because there is a work requirement. And we have Bill Clinton to thank for that because that was part of welfare reform.
And just there are some changes that came out with COVID. The work requirement is waived as long as the state of emergency is in effect. As soon as the state of emergency is over, you will have a work requirement again. And that is basically for most people, except those who are disabled and families that have, some individuals with children.
And just welfare reform, forcing people to work. People who don't have money want to work. So this work requirement is stupid as a matter of public policy, but it's going to be difficult to change because it's been on the books for about 20 years.
And unfortunately, it's feeding into everything related to welfare. I mean, you would think food is such a basic necessity that you would just want people to have healthy food and good nutrition and not put restrictions on it, but that's not the world we live in.
Right. Food insecurity is a problem in the United States. It shouldn't be a problem, but it is. And that's because our leaders don't understand what's important and what's not important. Okay. Boy, we just want to end it there. Have a good day.
It's been one of those days for sure.
Yeah. So first of all, you can be categorically eligible, and people on SSI and TANF, county general assistance, you are categorically eligible. The good thing about the welfare division is once you qualify for like TANF or county general assistance, which is a county program, but they will automatically sort of give you an application for SNAP benefits and you will be eligible. So this isn't like the Employment Security Division where they try to keep these benefits like they're theirs and deny you for stupid reasons. The Welfare Division knows that it's a remedial sort of program that's supposed to help you during hard times. So SSI, for instance, if you're eligible, you will get information on how to apply for SNAP benefits. So these categorically eligible people, if for some reason you're not getting these benefits, you should apply for them because you will get them with very little scrutiny. There's also everyone else who isn't receiving welfare, either TANF or County General Assistance or SSI. For this group, yes, you do have to become eligible. And if you're not categorically eligible, if your income is above 130% of the poverty rate, you really should give it up because you're probably not going to be eligible. If you're 60 or older, have a household member that's disabled, yes, you may be eligible, but you have to come forward with expenses that reduce your income below the net income test. Did that cover it? All right. So we're not talking about categorically eligible. We're talking about basically two groups here. People who have a member of the household who's 60 or older or disabled. For them, they're going to use the maximum net income test. For everyone else, they're going to use maximum gross. So with maximum gross, your income has to be 130% of the poverty rate or less, and then you're going to subtract allowable expenses. And if the result is not lower than the maximum net income, you're not going to be eligible. If it is, you will be eligible for SNAP. And here it's basically, if you're $1 below maximum net, you're going to get the full amount of SNAP benefits. So that's really it's either a yes or a no, positive or negative. It's related to the amount of income and your expenses. And if we look here at some of the standard deductions, there's tax deductions, the money you pay for taxes, dependents in the household. There's a reduction of gross income by 20%, shelter costs, utilities. So these are some of the costs, and you could do sort of a quick sort of thumbnail sketch of whether you're eligible. And if you don't have somebody in your household who's 60 or older or disabled, then you're going to have to be at 130% of the poverty rate and use these expenses to reduce your income below the max net income. So hopefully this will explain it a little bit better. At the top is SSI, TANF, and county aid. Those people are categorically eligible. In the middle, the people who are better off are people 60 or older or have a disabled person. They're going to use maximum net. And the people who don't have somebody 60 or older or a disabled member, they're going to use maximum gross. Now, the difference is there's two tests for maximum gross, and there's just one test for maximum net, which means people with a member of the household who's 60 or older or disabled, their income can be higher than 130%. They just need the added expenses to reduce them below maximum net. All right, so if you're income eligible, then you determine assets. There's a exemption for many things that are required for daily living, like shelter, car, clothing, jewelry, other necessary household items. So you take those out, and like money in the bank, if you have $2,251, you're not going to be eligible. So unless you have a disabled member or somebody 60 or older, or there's two people, then it's $3,250. But that's basically the limit for resources. SNAP benefits go to people low income, and that should be constantly sort of in the back of your mind. Just because you have trouble paying for food doesn't mean you're eligible for SNAP. You have to sort of qualify under these sort of rigorous standards. All right. So we talked about the poverty rate and 130%. Well, it's right here. And yes, the poverty rate went up in 2022, but that's not taken into account until October of 2022. So these are basically 2021 standards. And for a single person, the poverty rate is $1,074 per month. And somebody could be saying, wow, that's really low, but that's what the standard is. And if you have a member who's 60 or older or disabled in your household, it goes up to basically $1,400 a month. And that's it. I mean, the amount of income increases as there's more members included in your household. But keep in mind, if you have an undocumented person in your household, you don't add that person because they don't count, which is tragic, but that's the way it is. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
So let's say, yeah.
Yeah, no, yes, it is tragic. And that is, kind of par for the course for most government benefits. If somebody is undocumented, obviously they're still part of your household, but they do not count for public benefits.
Anyway, we can, let's not get into politics. So a family of four, a typical sort of nuclear family, that income each month is $2,200. And if your income is higher than that, you're probably not going to be eligible. So that's what we're talking about, low income, and that's the poverty rate, and that's low income. But you also, what you're striving for as a family of four is what, $835 for food each month. That's not going to pay for food for your family each month. These benefits are meager, and they're not going to cover all of your food costs. For a single person, that's $250 a month. Yes, you can get like top ramen and eat it every day. Maybe that'll cost $250 a month. But it's these benefits, these SNAP benefits. Not only is it difficult to qualify for, but it's also kind of a meager sort of addition to your family income to support yourselves and buy food.
And then just to highlight you have the household sizes, the column all the way to the left. The maximum net, remember, that's if you have a household member that's 60 or over or disabled. And then the maximum gross is if you don't have that. If you're a family or a single person, you're looking at gross income. So David explained that net income, you can subtract certain expenses from your gross income, which is every single money cent that you get. And then gross is you don't get to count those expenses. So just please keep that in mind.
And this is just a little comment to politicians. If you take the minimum wage, times it by 40, and take the average shelter cost, food cost, and everything else, it's not enough to live on, even if you do get SNAP benefits. So we need to raise the minimum wage, we need to raise the SNAP allotment, and we need to make this society that we live in affordable for people of low income and minimal sort of economic. When somebody is poor, it's difficult to live in our society. That's it. So I've said my piece. And of course, poor is not politically correct, economically disadvantaged. But the point is, you're screwed in our society if you don't have money.
And then just one more thing about the benefit amount. That was the column all the way to the right. As David explained, for a single person, you get $250 a month. For a family of four, you get about $835 a month. You're generally expected under the SNAP program to spend 30% of your income on food. So, there's a whole system, it's called a thrifty food plan, that the government actually sets the allotments based on what they believe is like a standard amount of money that people would pay for food. And then you are expected as a household to contribute to that. Because of COVID, these rules were suspended and emergency allotments came into play. So right now, people are actually getting at least $95 more a month in food stamps than was listed on that chart. Everybody should get at least a base level of $95 extra dollars. That will depend on your benefit amount and all of these calculations that David has already gone through. But again, this all ends when the state of emergencies end. As we heard today, Nevada has also lifted the mask mandate. At some point, this will all end and all of these rules will come into play and the benefit amount will be reduced at that point in time, basically a month after this happens.
We saw today that inflation was 7%. And do SNAP benefits increase 7%? Does the minimum wage increase 7%? Of course not.
No.
So again, you're left holding the bag if you don't have a good paying job and relatives who have money that you can rely on and a trust fund.
We're going to a dark place, David.
I know.
Just a final thought on the emergency allotments. As I said, households will receive at least $95. This will be phased out, when the program ends, when the state of emergency is basically over. And there were, just to put this in context, in January of 2022, there were 220,453 households that received emergency allotments. We are talking about a lot of people.
A lot of people, yes. What happened?
I changed the slide.
Oh, I thought we covered this, but yes. Generally speaking, the common sort of conservative talking point is that illegal immigrants are getting SNAP benefits. No, they're not. You need to be documented as a citizen, as an immigrant, or be a citizen to get SNAP benefits. Yes, if you're a member of the household and you're not documented, you may be able to survive on the $250 or whatever meager amount it is. But that's the only way somebody who's not documented would get to appreciate and use SNAP benefits, is if a member of their household got it. You do need documentation. You do need to show welfare that you're here in Nevada legally. And if you're not, then you're not going to be eligible for SNAP benefits.
And it does require a social security number. So, keep that in mind. But that'll do it for our SNAP presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to put something in the chat. I will monitor the chat for another minute as we conclude today's presentation. Please visit us on our website, nevadalegalservices.org. You can also call us toll-free at either of our two toll-free numbers. The first one is for the Southern Nevada offices, and the second one is for our Northern Nevada offices. We have offices across the state that you can also visit. Obviously, we are currently open. We do ask that people still contact us by virtual means or by phone if you can, to still mitigate the spread of COVID, even though we're on the path of releasing most of the mandates at this point. And then please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Any final thoughts, David?
Yes, I just want to say that if somebody wants to use their SNAP benefits to buy lobster, then they should be entitled to. I think a lot of rich people think that these are exclusive areas for them. And if somebody of limited means buys lobster, then the system is broken. No, it's not broken. People can celebrate, people can splurge, everyone can splurge. And don't feel guilty if you get lobster with your SNAP benefits.
Yes. And also don't feel guilty if getting SNAP benefits allows you to use your money on leisure activities. I know that is also a big problem, is that, you know, people get to use their money to go have fun or do something else. And we all are just trying to survive in this world right now. And if you need to use your money to work out or go to a movie or whatever it is, then that is, you know, we are providing this so that you can, you know, try to live the same life as everyone else.
Do we have any questions?
No questions. So that will do it for today.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
David.
Ray. Thank you, Ray.
Talk to you later.